It's here, your cruise embarkation day, and honestly, this might just be the most important day of the entire trip. So whether you're new to cruising or a seasoned sailor, this video is for you as we have our expert tips and tricks to ensure your embarkation day is smooth sailing up next. Welcome aboard, cruisers, and a special welcome back to those Eat Sleep Cruise subscribers. Now the wife and I have been on over 65 cruises, so that's plenty of embarkation days. And in this video, we share with you our expert cruise tips and tricks to make sure embarkation day is flawless. Now, if you're completely new to cruising, you might be asking yourself, what exactly is embarkation day? Well, the term embark means to board a ship. So essentially, embarkation day is the first day the ship is accepting new cruisers for the next voyage. On your cruise ticket or your itinerary, embarkation day will be marked as day one. And once all cruisers are successfully on the ship, it will set sail for its next destination, or first port of call. Now that you know the lingo, it's time to dive into our cruise embarkation day tips. And quite honestly, to ensure you make the most of your first day on your cruise, you actually need to start planning weeks ahead of that special day. First thing you need to do after booking your cruise is download the Cruise Lines app. This will be essential once you board the ship. With the app, or the desktop version of the Cruise Lines website, you need to complete your check-in process. And you need to do this as soon as it becomes available. Most cruise lines let you check in about 30 to 45 days prior to sailing. The earlier you sign in, the better embarkation time you'll receive. During check-in, you're able to select an arrival time, load security photos of your travel party, and complete other requirements like inputting your passport information. But even before your check-in, there are a few things you should probably do ahead of time, which will save you plenty of time and headaches on day one of your cruise. Now, we can't stress this enough. Before boarding the ship, make sure to purchase any cruise add-on. Among the additional costs not covered in your cruise fare are things like shore excursions, drink packages, Wi-Fi, and specialty dining. While you may not need any of the packages, almost all cruisers have plans to do something while ashore at the different ports of call. Now, you can book these tours directly through the cruise line or with local tour operators or even third-party retailers. Now, in full disclosure, our first couple cruises, we didn't know any better and we waited till we boarded the ship to book our shore excursions. But we don't make that cruise mistake anymore. Waiting too long to book your shore excursions might lead to sold-out tours and some disappointment. Same could be said about things like specialty dining or drink packages. They're often cheaper pre-cruise and you have a greater selection of options. Finally, if your cruise line allows you to pre-book entertainment reservations before boarding the ship, you should definitely do that as well. That gives you one less thing you need to worry about on embarkation day. Think of embarkation day like the first day of school, which means you should be definitely planning your embarkation day outfits. You want to ensure that you have a comfortable, region-appropriate outfit for that first day of your cruise, and to be completely honest, the wife and I always plan something fun, but functional. It's okay to don that loud Caribbean shirt, God knows I have a closet full of them, or wear matching t-shirts for the whole family. After all, you are officially now on vacation. Just make sure the outfit fits the destination. If you're cruising to Alaska, shorts and a t-shirt probably won't cut it. Likewise, you'll probably do a good amount of walking and standing during a cruise embarkation day, so you'll want comfortable footwear. Being home ported here in Boston means oftentimes we need to hop on a plane to get to our cruise departure point. If you're like us, then we strongly encourage you arrive a day early. We always fly in the day before our cruise, and this ensures there's extra time in case of travel delays or issues with transportation. You certainly don't need the added stress of arriving the day of your cruise, or chance missing the ship due to flight cancellations. While this has always been true, it's more important now than ever before, because let's all face it, flying right now is a complete disaster. Plus, arriving at the home port a day early means you get to start your vacation a little bit sooner. Unfortunately, most cruise lines don't send luggage tags to your home anymore, so you'll need to print and adhere your luggage tags to your checked bags. We suggest you do this before you leave your house, days before your cruise. We are very fond of luggage tag holders to ensure the tags stay in place on our bags, and we have a link to our preferred luggage tags in the description down below. Of course, you can staple the paper tags to your bags as well at your pre-cruise hotel. Either way, make sure you have these in place before heading to the port. Again, it will save you time and make boarding the ship more efficient. Since the cruise restart, cruise lines have been enforcing port arrival times. So, one cruise embarkation day tip is to arrive at the terminal close to your port arrival time. Long gone are the days that you can show up as early as you want, get in line, and be among the first on the ship. It is okay to get there a little early, but not an hour or more early. If you arrive too early, you may be ushered into a separate line and made to wait outside the terminal until your designated check-in time. Thus, if you have a late arrival time, don't rush to get to the port. If you want to get your vacation started as soon as possible, make sure to complete that pre-cruise process ASAP to snag an early time. If you miss out on those early times, some cruise lines allow you to upgrade to Expedited Embarkation. Royal Caribbean and Carnival Cruise Line both offer options with upgrades that include priority embarkation. Royal Caribbean's The Key is a program that includes several benefits, and one of these perks is priority embarkation. It also includes priority tendering and disembarkation, along with Intranet and an exclusive welcome lunch. Likewise, Carnival's Faster to the Fun allows guests the ability to be among the first on the ship. It also provides priority access for tendering and disembarkation, among other perks. Now, some individuals are amazing and can fit a week's worth of clothes in a small carry-on, but neither one of us are really that savvy when it comes to packing. And if you're kind of like us, don't try to lug those 50-pound suitcases onto the ship with you. If you do have larger luggage, you should definitely check it with the porters located outside the cruise terminal. By doing so, your bags will be delivered directly to your stateroom prior to sail away. If you choose to take larger items on board with you, just remember that you'll be responsible for them for the next several hours. This means lifting them onto the security conveyor belt, wheeling them up the gangway, and lugging them around the ship until your cabins are ready. Trust us, you don't want to do this. Even though we leave our larger bags with the porters, we do bring a carry-on bag, typically a backpack or a tote bag, on board with us during embarkation. In these carry-ons, we ensure we have some cruise essentials. These include copies of our boarding passes, even though we also have the digital versions, along with receipts for any prepaid items like drink packages, just in case. Paper copies are a great backup, as your phone signal may be spotty in the terminal building. You will also need your passport or other form of ID during the check-in process. Be sure this is on your person and not in the bag you just left with the porters. Some itineraries might require other additional documentation besides your passport, so have that handy too. Using the cruise line's app during this process will definitely save you time. Having completed the health questionnaire and loaded your security photos ahead of time, you can zip through the check-in process. Since you won't see your checked bags for a few hours, you should also make sure your carry-on has some necessary items. Beyond the documents we just mentioned, you'll want to pack other cruise essentials. Some things to include are any required medication, electronics like laptops or digital cameras, and chargers for your devices. It might be smart to pack some toiletries, like toothpaste and a toothbrush, or a hairbrush in case you need to freshen up. And don't forget any necessities for the kids. We also bring a refillable water bottle to use throughout the trip. Not to mention a bathing suit, suntan lotion, and sunglasses. But don't worry, you can leave the beach towels at home. There'll be plenty of those on the pool deck. Most cruise lines allow cruisers to bring 2 bottles of wine per cabin on board. Others, like Carnival Cruise Line, also allow a limited number of non-alcoholic beverages. Check your cruise line's website for accepted items. Then be sure to pack them in your carry-on bag. If you pack the wine in your checked luggage, it might be confiscated by the cruise line. Do know that many cruise lines charge corking fees for bottles of wine that you bring on board the ship. So honestly, you might not be saving as much money as you think. Along the same lines, you'll want to check your cruise line's website to ensure what items you can and cannot bring on board the ship. This goes for both your carry-on and checked luggage. Don't try to bring anything on board that's prohibited by the cruise line, as it will get confiscated and could delay getting your luggage and your cruise boarding. Some of these items include bottles of liquor or other alcohol, besides the 2 bottles of wine. Along with typical contraband like firearms or illegal substances, most cruise lines also don't allow things such as irons, steamers, and hot plates. But again, double check that cruise line website, see what other items are not allowed on your particular cruise ship. We get it, you're super excited as soon as you board that ship, and you can't wait to see and do everything. Well, resist the temptation to go to your stateroom, because odds are your cabin will not be ready. Most cruise lines do not allow access to staterooms until between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. This gives the housekeeping staff time to clean and change over the rooms from the previous sailing. Again, this is another reason checking your luggage is so worth it. Of note, some cruise lines, like Celebrity Cruises, do allow guests to drop off carry-on items, but most do not. With your manageable carry-ons in tow, it's now time to take care of any loose ends. Long before this cruise, you download the Cruise Lines app. Check. So now you can sign on to the ship's Wi-Fi. Once you access the ship's Wi-Fi, you will be able to use the app, but you do need to purchase internet if you want to access external websites or social media or your email. If you did purchase a Wi-Fi package, it's worth setting up now as well. Depending on which Wi-Fi package you purchase, you'll be able to check email, surf the web, post on social media, and even stream movies and music. But even if you didn't purchase Wi-Fi, the app will still be vital throughout the week and may even come in handy in just a few minutes. Depending on the cruise line and ship, you may need reservations to see some of the shows. If you are not able to do that pre-cruise, you should do it right now. The popular shows and ideal showtimes fill up quickly. Often, there'll be a designated spot to book entertainment reservations, like a box office or a kiosk in the promenade. Some cruise lines offer touch screens throughout the ship that let you book these shows as well. Or, you might even be able to claim your reservations right in the Cruise Lines app. It doesn't hurt to ask a crew member near the boarding point where and how you can make these reservations. Once you know, take a few minutes to review the schedule and book those must-see productions before they're all gone. With your show secured, you should confirm any dining reservations. If you have a dining package, some cruise lines don't let you make those reservations until you're on the ship. So now is the time. Or you had a last-minute change of heart, want to dine at a specialty restaurant, or need to change your pre-cruise reservation, we suggest you do that sooner rather than later on embarkation day. Typically, by the end of the day, most of the highly coveted dining times and restaurants will be full. If you're doing traditional dining and want to change the dining time, you should also do that early on embarkation day. Most cruise lines have specific kiosks for such dining changes as well. There is no excuse for not knowing what's happening every moment on your cruise. The cruise ship's daily schedule will actually become your best friend over the course of the week. This magazine lists all the day's activities, events, dining times, entertainment, and live music throughout the ship. Often there are paper copies of the daily near guest services or other venues like the coffee shop. Although many cruise lines are doing away with leaving paper copies of the daily in your stateroom each evening. But the good news is, the daily's always in the palm of your hand or your pocket. Almost all cruise lines' apps will provide the same information, which is updated every day. So, before you head off to explore, check out what events are on the schedule for that day. Some apps are better than others, so it might take a few minutes to find where all the hours and activities are listed. But once you know, you will be so thankful that you have the app. One innovation the cruise lines developed for the cruise restart was virtual muster, or sometimes referred to as an e-muster. Instead of an in-person, drawn-out safety drill, this new muster consists of 2 steps. First, cruisers need to watch the safety video in the app or on your stateroom television. After watching the video, cruisers can then check in at their muster station for a short life jacket demo and safety highlight briefing. This process is efficient, it's easy, and it's a vast improvement over the old model. However, you do need to complete this mandatory muster drill, and you should do it sooner rather than later. If your cruise line doesn't have this technology, or it's reverted to the dreaded in-person muster, then make sure you know when and where to go for that briefing. Once you board the ship, hordes of people will be ushered into the same spot, the buffet. Unless we have no alternative option, we always skip the buffet on embarkation day, and you should resist the urge to dine there too. Most contemporary cruise lines offer a variety of other casual dining options. These might include Tex-Mex shops, cafes, pizza parlors, outdoor grills, among other options. Some cruise lines also serve a sit-down lunch in the main dining room on embarkation day. Again, that daily schedule is going to come in handy. It will indicate the times and locations of restaurants that are open for embarkation day lunch. If the buffet is the only option, do try to go at off-peak times, like later in the afternoon. One of our time-honored traditions, regardless of the cruise ship, is to explore the ship on embarkation day. Hopefully, you've reviewed the ship's onboard deck plans prior to boarding, but now it's time to explore the ship in real life. Even if you skip some of our other cruise embarkation day tips, exploring the ship is a must. We even walk around ships we've already sailed on in the past just to refamiliarize ourselves with the layout. By exploring on day 1, you can get a general sense of where different venues are located, or you might discover some different spaces you didn't know about. This will have you navigating the ship like a pro and staying one step ahead of everybody else. Once done, you can grab your bathing suit and take a dip in the pool.
Or get ahead of the crowds and use some of the popular amenities, like the water slides. For families, Embarkation Day is also the perfect time to check out the youth center. Many ships offer several distinct kids and teens areas throughout the ship. These are often organized by age groups. Most cruise lines host an open house on Embarkation Day that gives you and your little ones an opportunity to meet the staff and walk through the facilities. Even if you don't think your kids will use the kids club, you might still want to have a look, as some are quite impressive with video games, board games, arts and crafts, and other high-tech features. Additionally, you, the parent, can learn more about the services offered, the hours of operation, and your kids will receive a bracelet which will help staff in the case of an emergency. Now it's time to take plenty of pictures. Honestly, this might be one of the rarest times that certain venues are not busy, like the pool deck or main theater. So, if you want certain pictures, we recommend taking them now. We always spend some of the day taking pictures and videos of popular venues. Also, don't forget some selfies. In fact, a welcome aboard drink selfie is all but mandatory on any cruise. If you didn't purchase the Wi-Fi package, just make sure to post them to social media before you sail away. Of course, you want to show everyone back home how much fun you're already having on your vacation. Another place you should visit on Embarkation Day is the spa. In fact, a spa tour is something we almost always do on the first day of a cruise. Again, this is the rare opportunity to check out this venue and the nearby fitness center with few fellow cruisers. Spa personnel will guide you through various rooms and describe the different treatment options available. Many newer ships also have a thermal suite, with experiences like a hydro pool, sauna, steam room, and other relaxing spaces. On many ships, passes to the thermal suite and other spa appointments book up quickly. Also, there are often promotions for those who take one of these tours. Likewise, fitness fanatics will want to check out the onboard gym and inquire about additional offerings. Most cruise lines offer group classes for a fee that also require reservations. The wife and I are big fans of traditional dining. For those who are new to cruising, traditional dining means you have the same table and wait staff and eat at a set time every evening. So if this is your dining arrangement, we suggest on Embarkation Day taking a few minutes to find your assigned table in the main dining room. If there are issues with the assignment, now's the time to speak up to the host or hostess about changing it. Perhaps you prefer to sit at a table with 2 instead of a large table with other guests. Or maybe you forgot to link guests from other staterooms to your travel party and you want to dine with them. For cruisers with flexible dining options, now is the time to make your reservations for tonight's dinner, if you haven't already done so. Of note, many cruise lines that offer these dine anytime options do allow cruisers to pre-reserve time slots for the duration of the cruise. And let's just say the first night in the main dining room can get a little chaotic. So anything you can do to avoid the masses is highly recommended. Plus, some cruise ships have multiple dining rooms that are spread out around the ship. So if nothing else, you can learn where these dining venues are located before heading to dinner on the first evening. Sooner or later, your stateroom will be available. And when it is, you should find some time on Embarkation Day to unpack. Whether this is before the sail away party, or before heading to dinner, or even going to bed, this step will help you get settled in for the rest of the week. Given the tight quarters of the cruise ship cabins, it's not advisable to live out of your suitcase. You're going to need that valuable space in the room. So unpack, then store your larger bags under the bed. While it did take us a while to figure this out, packing cubes can make this vacation chore a whole lot easier. You can simply unzip them and store these cubes on the shelves or in the drawers. You'll want to hang your formal outfits and other attire in the closet to reduce wrinkles. Not to mention, if you forgot to pack something, now's the time to find out. You can always grab necessities or other items at the first port of call instead of paying the high price tags on the ship. Once you're unpacked, another Embarkation Day tip: to get your stateroom organized. You might want to rearrange the furniture by moving smaller tables and such out of the way. We also recommend using magnets to hang items like bags and hats. Given the walls of most cruise ship cabins are metal, this tip is a great space-saving hack for cruisers. An over-the-door shoe organizer is another one of our space-saving hacks. You can use this to store small items like sunglasses, medications, and toiletries. In fact, we actually don't even use it for shoes. Further, I stake out a spot that will double as my office for the week. With a cruise line approved power adapter, I organize all my electronics and associated chargers in one central location. During your cruise vacation, your stateroom attendant will take good care of you, so it's very important to meet him or her on the first day of the cruise. Normally, the attendants will be around in the hallways, eager to say hi. If you had a chance to unpack and look around your room already, you can request any additional items you may need, like extra hangers or towels. Plus, you can let them know any of your preferences. They will also likely ask about your dining times as well, so they know when your room will be vacant. The official kickoff of any cruise is the sail away party. This normally happens on the pool deck somewhere around 4 to 5 p.m., depending on your ship's expected departure. Grab a drink and a good rail position to enjoy all the fun. From the dance party near the pool to the coastline as the ship sails out of port, and maybe even at sunset, there's plenty to soak in. This lively and energetic launch is something we never miss, no matter how many cruises we've taken. This is also the first time you get to see the cruise director and the activity staff. If you'd like to get involved, these will be the people keeping the party going all week. We know you're very excited about your cruise vacation, and temptations all around you, but be sure to pace yourself. The first day of the cruise can feel hectic. Thus, another one of our tips is to ensure you don't overdo it on the first day. Yes, take advantage of the amenities, enjoy a nice dinner, check out the shows and live music, and have a few drinks. Just remember though, there are likely 6 more days of your cruise. If you want to enjoy a cruise vacation, don't eat or drink too much. You don't want to wake up sick or with a headache the next morning. Still, we do recommend front-loading the cruise, but you don't have to eat, drink, and do everything all the first day. Over the next couple of days, we suggest prioritizing the onboard amenities you want to try the most. Whether it's go-karts, rock climbing walls, a taste or food demonstration, a dance class, or whatever, don't put it off until the end of the week. Regardless of whether you purchase internet or not, you'll want to put your cell phone in airplane mode once the ship sets sail. It won't take long for you to be out of service and roaming once at sea. If you're not careful, you could rack up quite a bill with roaming charges. If you forgot to do it right away, your provider might even send a text message advising you that you're out of network. You can still use the app and the ship's Wi-Fi with your phone in airplane mode. Just won't be able to access any of your cellular data. Check with your service provider as your ports of call may or may not be within your coverage area. This could mean that you can take your phone out of airplane mode to use it while your ship is docked in a certain port of call. If you're like me and a cruise nerd, you might collect items for your trips, like ship models or t-shirts. Night 1 is the best time to snag them. This is especially true if you're on a new ship, as select items and clothing sizes sell out fast. Or, this is true if you're on any Disney Cruise Line ship. The onboard shops will usually open once the ship sets sail, so stopping in before or after dinner to make your purchases is always a good idea. Of course, if you have a change of heart or find something better later, you can often return the unused items for a refund. Just make sure to confirm the return policy before swiping your room keycard. If you're brand new cruising and still need more help, don't worry, we have you covered. Right here on YouTube, we have our top cruise tips for first-time cruisers. There we help you navigate the waters to learn more about the onboard activities, entertainment, dining, how to save money on a cruise, plus more. That video is a great place to start for those who have never taken a cruise or haven't taken a cruise in a while, and it will help ensure your cruise vacation is smooth sailing.